ZMA is one of the most talked about supplement stacks in bodybuilding history. For years, it's been sold as the secret to more testosterone, better sleep, and explosive strength. But when independent scientists actually tested it, the results told a very different story. Today, we're going to break down the science behind ZMA, what the research actually shows, and whether it deserves a place in your supplement stack. So, ZMA stands for zinc, magnesium aspartate, plus vitamin B6. Zinc is an essential trace mineral. It's involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including DNA synthesis, protein production, and testosterone metabolism. Magnesium plays an equally important role, acting as a cofactor in energy production, nerve conduction, and muscle contraction. Vitamin B6 supports amino acid metabolism and neurotransmitter function. So on paper, this supplement made sense. Athletes sweat more, often eat in caloric restriction phases, and could potentially run low on zinc and magnesium. In the 1990s, a few early studies suggested athletes might be deficient and that supplementation could restore optimal levels, boost anabolic hormones, and improve recovery. The most famous was a 2000 study by Brilla Conte, which found that 8 weeks of supplementation in football players led to significant increases in free testosterone, IGF-1, and strength compared to placebo. That single study lit the match, and supplement companies ran with it. But hype only lasts until the data gets checked. In 2004, Colin Wilborn and colleagues published a much more rigorous test of ZMA. They recruited 42 resistance-trained men, average age 27, all with at least 1 year of lifting experience. The design was randomized, double-blind, and placebo-controlled. In other words, a high-quality study. For 8 weeks, every subject followed a standardized 4-day-a-week resistance training program. One group took ZMA before bed, the other got a placebo. Researchers didn't just look at strength. They tracked body composition with DEXA scans, 1-rep maxes for bench and leg press, endurance tests for anaerobic capacity, and even full blood panels measuring testosterone, IGF-1, cortisol, and growth hormone. Now here's the punchline. Zinc levels in the ZMA group went up 12 to 17%, but the increase wasn't statistically significant. Magnesium barely budged. Testosterone, no difference. IGF-1, also no difference. Cortisol and growth hormone, no difference again. Strength, endurance, lean mass, fat loss, or sprint power, again, no difference compared to the placebo. In short, the ZMA group did not experience any advantage in training adaptations, hormones, or performance after 8 weeks of heavy lifting. So why the contradiction with Brilla and Conte's earlier study? So first, the 2000 study involved football players during their off-season, who may have been under higher stress, worse sleep schedules, and possibly dietary gaps. That means deficiencies in zinc or magnesium were more likely. Second, the Wilborn study subjects already had normal baseline levels of zinc and magnesium. Supplementing when you're not deficient is like topping off a gas tank that's already full. Nothing really happens. Third, the Wilborn study included stricter dietary tracking and standardized training. The Brilla study had looser controls, which increases the chances of exaggerated effects. Now, ZMA isn't the only study in the field. Research on zinc and magnesium alone shows clear patterns. A 1996 paper by Prasad and colleagues demonstrated that zinc deficiency directly lowers testosterone and impairs immune function. A 1998 study by Golf et al. Found that magnesium supplementation for 2 weeks lowered cortisol in stressed subjects. Multiple studies through the 90s showed athletes, especially endurance athletes, could sweat out significant amounts of zinc and magnesium during training, leading to deficiencies if diet wasn't optimized. The conclusion across these papers is consistent. If you're deficient, supplementation helps. If you're not, you won't see a boost. This is why some athletes swear by ZMA. It's not the ZMA formula itself, it's the correction of a hidden deficiency. This tells us something critical about supplementation. Context is everything. Supplements are tools, not magic bullets. If your diet is balanced and your micronutrient status is healthy, ZMA won't subtly make you anabolic. But if you're running low on zinc or magnesium, maybe from a poor diet, restrictive eating, or excessive sweat loss, ZMA can absolutely help restore optimal function, which indirectly supports training and recovery. Think of it like fixing a broken chain in a machine. If the chain is intact, adding more links does nothing. But if it's missing links, repairing it makes the whole system run smoothly again. So here's what you should take away. If you want to test whether you need ZMA, first evaluate your diet. Good zinc sources include red meat, shellfish, beans, and nuts. Magnesium is rich in leafy greens, whole grains, and seeds. If you eat a balanced diet and don't have symptoms for deficiency, ZMA is unlikely to provide any measurable edge. If you struggle with recovery, poor sleep, high stress, or limited food variety, ZMA could be worth experimenting with. At best, it corrects deficiencies. At worst, it's just expensive pee. The science is clear. ZMA is not a magic anabolic pill. For most lifters with solid nutrition, it won't boost testosterone, growth hormone, or strength. But in populations with deficiencies, it can help. The hype came from one flashy study, but the weight of evidence says ZMA is situational, not essential. So the next time a supplement company claims their capsule is the key to gains, remember this. You can't supplement your way out of a bad diet, bad sleep, or inconsistent training. Nail the fundamentals first, then use supplements to fill the gaps, not replace the work. Remember, strength isn't given, it's built. Knowledge fuels progress, discipline drives results, and staying natural keeps you in the fight for the long run. This is Natty Nation, stronger every session, smarter every rep. Stay natural, stay relentless, stay dangerous.